Confidence often feels like something reserved for other people. The naturally bold, the outgoing, the ones who seem completely sure of themselves in every situation. But that perception can be misleading and limiting if you accept it as truth, because confidence is not a fixed personality trait. It is a skill that can be developed through consistent behavior and intentional mindset shifts. Inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, this idea centers on the powerful relationship between your actions and your subconscious mind, suggesting that what you repeatedly do begins to shape what you genuinely believe about yourself over time. When you choose to act confident, even in small, subtle ways like maintaining eye contact, speaking clearly, or carrying yourself with calm posture, you are essentially sending a message to your mind that says, "This is who I am," and your subconscious gradually starts aligning with that identity. At first, it may feel uncomfortable or even unnatural, and that's completely expected because you're stepping outside of familiar patterns and replacing them with new ones. But this discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of growth and transition. Many people wait until they feel confident before taking action, but that approach often keeps them stuck in hesitation because feelings can be inconsistent and influenced by fear, doubt, or past experiences, whereas actions are within your control in the present moment. By flipping the process, choosing action first, you break that cycle and begin building real confidence from the outside in. This doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not or putting on a false persona. Instead, it means practicing the version of yourself that you want to become until it feels natural and authentic. Over time, those repeated behaviors create new mental patterns, and the confidence that once felt like an act starts to become your default state. You begin to notice subtle changes, like feeling less anxious in conversations, more willing to take initiative, and more comfortable expressing your thoughts and ideas without overthinking every detail. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen with consistency, patience, and self-awareness. The key is to start small and stay intentional, recognizing that every confident action, no matter how minor it seems, is contributing to a larger shift within you. As you continue this process, you'll realize that confidence is not something you have to chase or wait for. It's something you actively create through your daily choices. And once you understand that, you gain a powerful sense of control over your personal growth and the way you show up in the world. Another important part of building confidence through action is understanding how your inner dialogue either supports or weakens the process. Because the way you talk to yourself quietly reinforces what you believe you are capable of doing. When you begin acting confident on the outside, but continue repeating negative thoughts internally, such as doubting your abilities or expecting failure, you create a conflict between your behavior and your mindset that slows your progress. This is why it is essential to bring your thoughts into alignment with your actions by consciously choosing more supportive, constructive language in your mind. Inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, this approach emphasizes the influence of the subconscious, which absorbs repeated thoughts and turns them into deeply rooted beliefs over time. When you intentionally replace self-doubt with calm, encouraging statements, even if they don't feel completely true yet, you begin to reshape the mental foundation that supports your actions. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough for this," you might shift to, "I am learning and improving every time I try," which creates space for growth rather than fear. As you combine these supportive thoughts with confident behavior, the gap between what you do and what you believe starts to close, and this alignment strengthens your overall sense of self. It is also important to recognize that confidence is not about perfection or having all the answers. It is about trusting yourself to handle situations as they come, even when the outcome is uncertain. When you act with that mindset, you remove the pressure to perform flawlessly and instead focus on showing up fully and doing your best in the moment. This shift reduces anxiety and makes it easier to take consistent action, which is the real driver of confidence. Over time, your brain begins to collect evidence from your experiences, noticing that you are capable of handling challenges, speaking up, and moving forward despite discomfort. That evidence becomes proof that replaces old limiting beliefs, making your confidence feel more natural and grounded. Another key element in this process is repetition, because one or two confident actions are not enough to create lasting change. It is the consistent practice of these behaviors and thoughts that builds momentum and solidifies your new identity. Each time you choose confidence over hesitation, you strengthen that pathway in your mind, making it easier to choose the same response in the future. Gradually, what once required effort begins to feel automatic, and you find yourself responding to situations with greater ease and assurance. This transformation is not about becoming someone entirely different. It is about uncovering and strengthening the confident version of yourself that already exists beneath layers of doubt and habit. By staying committed to both your actions and your thoughts, you create a powerful cycle of growth where each step forward reinforces the next, allowing your confidence to expand steadily and authentically in every area of your life. As this process of building confidence through action continues, it becomes increasingly important to understand the role of consistency and environment in shaping long-term results. Because personal growth does not happen in isolation, but is deeply influenced by the habits you maintain and the spaces you place yourself in. When you consistently choose confident behavior in everyday situations, even in small interactions like greeting others, making decisions without overanalyzing, or expressing your opinion without excessive hesitation, you're training your mind to adopt a new normal. This repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity is what eventually replaces fear with comfort. Over time, what once felt intimidating begins to feel routine, and that shift is where true confidence begins to solidify. Inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, this principle highlights how the subconscious mind absorbs repeated experiences and gradually forms them into belief systems that guide your behavior automatically. That means the more you practice confident actions, the more your mind accepts confidence as your identity rather than something you are trying to achieve. However, consistency alone is not enough if your environment constantly reinforces doubt, hesitation, or negativity, because external influences can either support or weaken your internal progress. Being mindful of the people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the conversations you engage in plays a crucial role in sustaining your transformation. Surrounding yourself with individuals who encourage growth, take action, and speak positively about challenges helps reinforce the mindset you are trying to build within yourself. At the same time, reducing exposure to environments that promote fear-based thinking or constant criticism allows your new habits to develop without unnecessary resistance. Another essential factor is patience, because confidence does not develop in a straight line, and there will be moments where old doubts temporarily resurface. During those moments, it is important not to interpret setbacks as failure, but rather as part of the adjustment process your mind goes through in forming new patterns. Each time you choose to continue acting confidently despite uncertainty, you strengthen your resilience and deepen your trust in yourself. This trust becomes the foundation of authentic confidence, not the surface-level appearance of it, but a steady inner assurance that you can rely on yourself in different situations. Eventually, you begin to notice that you are no longer forcing confident behavior. It starts happening naturally, without overthinking or internal struggle. You speak more freely, you make decisions more decisively, and you approach challenges with a calmer mindset. This is the point where action and belief are fully aligned, and confidence becomes a lived experience rather than an effort. Through steady practice, supportive environments, and a willingness to persist even when it feels uncomfortable, you gradually step into a stronger version of yourself, one that no longer waits for confidence, but creates it through consistent action and awareness.